Okay, now we have some word problems. A pet store has 10 tanks of fish. Each tank has M fish. Using M, write an expression for the total number of fish in the store. Okay, let's just draw a picture. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Each one of these tanks has M fish in them. Well, we can add up all of these fish, and it's going to be M plus M plus M 10 times, which is the same as 10M. Or if we have a tank with M fish and we have 10 of them, addition of the same number multiple times is the same as, that's exactly what multiplication is. And it says write an expression. It doesn't say write an equation. You can't write an equation because you don't know what this equals. If you knew what M was, you would know. Translate this phrase into an algebraic expression. The sum of. Now, I think I'm going to do something a little different than I did in the last video, because whenever you see the sum of, the product of, something like that, what you really want to think about is that this of here is basically putting this into parentheses. So we're going to sum 8 and twice a number. Sum is add, addition. I'm going to do what's in parentheses first. I have 8 plus 2 times a number, and they told me that I want to use the variable n. That's the sum of, because I'm adding 8 and twice a number. We don't know what the number is. We just leave it as n. The product of. Remember, we talked about what product is. Product is multiplication. 19 and Vivian's savings is 56 is the same as equal. So we're saying the product, which means 19, and Vivian's savings, we don't know what Vivian's savings is. So we're going to use R, because it tells me here to use R, is 56. And that is all we need to do. It does not ask us to solve this. See, we're not solving it. It's not asking us what is R. It's asking us to write the sentence into an equation. Here we have the sum of 5 times the number and 18 is equal to 17. Sum again means addition. 5 times a number, I don't know what the number is. It's telling me to use X. 5 times a number and 18, well, I'm summing it, so I have to say plus 18 is equal to 17. And that's it. This is a nice problem. It's saying 3 consecutive even integers. Well, integers is spelled wrong. Other than that, what does 3 consecutive even integers mean? Consecutive means in a row. For example, 2, 4, 6. Those are consecutive even integers. 4, 6, 8. And so on. How would we do this problem? Let's call my first number, I don't know what it is, but let's call it X. I do know that the way numbers work is odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, right? That means that all the even numbers are 2 numbers apart. If you take any even number and add 2 to it, you'll get another even number. The same thing is true of odd numbers. So the next consecutive number Even though I don't know x, I know it's x plus 2. And the next consecutive number is x plus 2, or x plus 4. And have a sum of 78. That means it equals 78. I'm going to now add these all together and solve for x. So I have x plus 2 plus x plus 4 equals 78. I have 1, 2, 3 x's, which means I have 3x. I have 2 plus 4 means I have 6. That equals 78. Remember, I do addition and subtraction first, which means I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. These cancel and I get 3x equals 72. I'm going to rewrite that over here. 3x equals 72. 3x means 3 times x. How do I get rid of the 3? I do the opposite operation from multiplication, which is division. 3 cancels with 3. I get x equals 24. Yes. I know my first number. My first number is 24. My next consecutive number has to be 26. And my last consecutive number has to be 28. We can even check this before we put it into the computer. I can say 24 plus 26 plus 28. 4 plus 6 is 10. There's 18. Carry the 1. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Perfect. There's 3 consecutive even integers that when I add them together equals 78. A house valued at $318,000. Over several years, the value decreased by 7%, which means that the house has a new value. Fill in the blank to write the new value in terms of the old value. Well, if I have a value of a house, how do I find 7% of that house? Well, 7% is equal to, in decimal, 7 divided by 100. If I want it in decimal, because decimal is really the easiest to work with as far as this is concerned, whenever I divide by 10 or by 100 or by 1,000, however many zeros I have, I move my decimal place to the left if I'm making it smaller with division, to the right if I make it bigger with multiplication. For example, I have 7. There's always a decimal at the end. I want to make this smaller because I'm dividing by 100. This means I'm dividing by 10. This means I'm dividing by 100, which means I put a 0 in there, and I can say 7 divided by 100 is the same as 0.07. A house valued at $318,000. Over several years, the value decreased by 7%, giving the house a new value. Let's start off with deciding how we're going to find 7% of the value of the house. Well, we know that 7% is the same as 0.07 in decimal. So I have 318,000 minus 318,000 times 0.07. That is the new value of the house. Let's say X is equal to $318,000. That means I have X minus 0.07X. This is equal to the new value. Well, don't forget, even though you can't see it, there is actually a 1 in front of that X. And just like if I had 2X plus 3X, I could say this is the same as 2 plus 3 times X, which is 5X, right? This is the same as 1 minus 0.07X. X is the old value, the original value, 318,000. 1 minus 0.07 is 0.93. That's what goes here. Once I have that, I just put this into my calculator. So I have 0.93 times $318,000 equals 295,740. This is 0.93. Well, that is the correct answer.